Henry, my friend from Casa Grande that was in our wedding party, he told him that I had gotten the Bronze Star. Oh, he went over there. He came here and talked my wife into giving me the Bronze Star, and we had it presented to me at Fort Huachuca. Where he says if you're in a military, on active military duty, it's supposed to be presented to him. So that's what he did. And I says, I've already got one. He said, oh no. He said, this is yours. Your wife gave it to me to bring home. Oh no. And I got mad at my wife. I said, honey, you weren't supposed to do that. He says, he told me, and he was your commanding officer, and it was going to be presented to you because if you were on active duty at that time, it's supposed to be presented to. So you should have seen the people looking at my Bronze Star. I said, let me put it on the table so you guys can look at it. So I put it there in the kitchen, and you guys look at it. And then when we get through with that, I'll take it back and put it up. But they had never seen the Bronze Star. I hadn't either.
How did you feel about getting that?
Oh, I don't know. I said, I'm not any more of a hero than any of the others, you know? And why did I get it? And I don't remember why. I have no idea. Maybe just because they felt sorry for me, or that's the only thing that I can think of. Because all the others, not all of them got the Bronze Star. So I was one of the lucky ones too. But there wasn't we didn't have too many Mexicans in that unit, especially battery company A. There was only 6 or 7, I think, with me. But those were replacing that they came in after some of the others were killed, you know. So, but that's all we had, and I didn't speak to them because my Spanish wasn't that good either. So, but and like I said, we went to 2 reunions over there, and at the reunions I was the only Mexican that was there, and we flew a couple of times. But we went to Illinois for the reunion, and the reunions are held in Wisconsin. From there I went to see the University of Notre Dame because that was one of my favorite football teams and universities, you know. So I got a tour of the university and the football field that some of my heroes played football on. So, but and my wife got to go with me too. So.
Yeah. Who were some of your football heroes?
Well, all of us from Notre Dame. I can't even remember their names now, so I've forgotten someone.
So you came back and right away, pretty much, you went back to school.
Mm-hmm.
And you graduated from high school in 1945.
Yeah.
You said. And what did you do after that? After you graduated from high school?
After I graduated from high school, I went to work for the local newspaper, the Chandler, Arizona. I was doing their sports for the high school, and then Mr. Williams says, Lefty says, you take care of the account, because I took bookkeeping in school. You take care of the money, and I'll take the sports. Mr. Williams, Len Williams, and so I did that for about 3 months, and then Father Patterson from the old church went to the Valley National Bank to make a deposit for the church, and he says, you know what, he says, I've got my church account, the personal account, and my farm account, which was in Gilbert, and I've never seen a Mexican working here. He says, well, nobody's ever applied. If I get you one, will you at least interview him? So from there, he went to Mr. Williams, and Mr. Williams says, Lefty, he says, go. And if they take you, I'll let you go. Well, they knew me because I used to make the deposits over there. And when I came, I wasn't there 5 minutes. He says, can you come in Monday? It was on a Friday. Can you come in Monday and start with it? So I went and told them. Oh my God, they couldn't believe it. They took me. Because Mr. Brayman knew me, and Jimmy David, the assistant manager, they knew me, so they took me. And I worked for the Valley National Bank for 3.5 years.
What were you doing at the bank?
Pause.
Teller.
Pause now.
I was a teller at the Valley National Bank.
Let me change tape, sorry.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Hold that thought. He's gonna put in a new tape.
Yeah.
We just ran out of tape. You have such a good story. We filled up one whole tape with your story.
Yeah.
I think I got that too.
I bet Corley had more to do with it.
Oh my goodness, Carly
bet, yeah.
had lots of things to talk about. Yeah.
Give me 30 seconds.
Okay. Okay, so going back to the Valley National Bank, you worked as a teller
Yeah.
there. How did you feel about getting that job?
I felt good. I thought, oh boy, that's it. But you know, at that time, banks didn't pay very much. And while I was working there, Ron Everett and I and 8 Anglos, 2 Mexicans and 8 Anglos, 10 took the test for the post office. And the 2 Mexicans and 1 Anglo passed it. Ron Everett took the other one, the other Mexican, but he had a job out at Williams Air Force Base, which was a civil service job too. And he says, Lefty, you take it. He says, I got a job out at Williams Air Force Base. So that's how I became one of the first 2 letter carriers in town. And I carried the other side of Arizona Avenue all the way to the 800 block on which at that time
So you were the west side or the east side?
the east side. I took the east side, and I went on Arizona Avenue, came back on Washington Street, went back on Colorado, and Delaware wasn't even finished yet. And so, and I had a home right there on Delaware where the post office is now. My grandma bought that lot for me when I was overseas. I was sending him my allotment for them to buy groceries, and I told them before I left, you know what she did? She put it in postal savings and got money enough out of there to buy that lot for $400 on Delaware Street, and the rest of it put it in postal savings. When I came home, I had over something like $1,300 in savings in postal savings. But I was sending that money for them to use it for groceries and stuff like that, and she saved it for me.
And bought that lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a house built there by Joe Martinez. And it was an adobe house, but it was only a 2-bedroom house. And we lived there for about 5.5 years. And then the kids started coming, so we bought this house here. And I had it built.
When did you build the house, the adobe house?
The adobe house was
What year?
built after I came back from the service.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, was
And
it after 1940?
and not only that, but the house was built, and we had it furnished. No, we got married and moved into the house. We were living in a condo first, and then we had that house built, and no, it was already built when we went home. Before we got married, we had a refrigerator, washer, not a dishwasher, but a washing machine, and cooler, no refrigeration cooler, and the backyard was way over behind it. And then Dr. Gilbert lived in one of the houses on Colorado Street there, and Joe Ryan came from back east, and he moved in one of the little apartments there when they first came in from back east, and and from there we walked to church,
Yeah, it was very
which
close.
was in the old there
Right
on
on
Colorado Street,
Yeah.
and
So what year was it that you moved into that house? Was it 47 or 48 or what year?
40. It had to be right after we came back. I came back from the service.
Okay.
But if I remember correctly, we were no, we had it already built when we left, because when we left the key to the house for her mother, and we had an old car, and they had gotten a brand new Buick about just 3 months and a half before we were married. And when we went over to gave them the keys, they handed the keys to the new car for us to go on our honeymoon. A Buick, brand new one. And so when we came back, my wife says, we went to Nogales and in Tucson, spent most of the time in Tucson, 2 weeks, and came back, and she says, let's go to the house. I gotta go freshen up before we go to the grocery store. Well, we had given them the keys, so they went, and we went, and we were supposed to go and buy groceries. When we opened the refrigerator, there was milk, butter, you would name it, meat, and stuff like that. And then the freezer was food on there, and the cabinet where we kept our groceries, the canned goods, was full of groceries too. So I said, oh my God. I said, her mother and dad went over and bought us groceries, so we didn't have to go buy any groceries when we got home. But
What year were you married?
Hmm?
What year were you married?
in 49,
1949. And what was your wife's name?
Josephine
Her maiden name?
Noriega.
Noriega.
Hmm.
And she was from Chandler?
She was born in Phoenix, and when her parents moved over here, she moved with them. So,
And you met her in high school?
and we were just classmates, you know. We never dated or anything, but like I said, this friend of mine that was in our wedding party there, and his wife, were going steady before we got married, and we double dated one time with them, and we got married before they did. And they were in our wedding party, and they live in Tucson now. So, not Tucson, Casa Grande. Because he worked for Bashas', he was a meat cutter for Bashas'.
So you two were married in 1949. You moved into that little adobe house on Delaware.
It was 180 North Delaware then.
180 North Delaware.
Mhm.
Okay, so it was north of Chandler
Hmm.
Boulevard.
Right there by the railroad track, but it's facing the railroad track.
Is the house still there?
No,
No.
that's
so-
where the post office is now.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then what year was it that you came to this house now?
In, let's see, 1948. I think it was 53, I think. Yeah, when the kids started coming, you know.
Yeah.
We had 2 kids then, and we moved in here, and we had 3 daughters and a son. And that daughter, Mary Helen, is the one that's living here with me, but she works over on Elliott and Arizona Avenue, some office and computer work.
Was the house already built when you moved here?
No, we had it built.
Okay.
We had it built, and it's a 3-bedroom house with a bath and a half, kitchen, and they got that fence around the back, and they got a swimming pool in the back too.
Who built the house?
You know, I can't remember.
But you hired
Oh, yeah, no, they were doing these houses, all these houses built, and we liked this one. Oh,
So
she did, and so
It was
we
a
bought, yeah.
developer
Oh,
was
yeah.
developing the area?
Mhm.
Okay. What's
There was
the-
nothing there, but those apartments there, the church wasn't even there when,
Do you remember the name of the subdivision?
what's that?
Do you remember the name of the subdivision for this
No, I don't.
area?
I can't remember now.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about working as a mail carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe what your job was like?
It was real nice. I liked it, and I knew a lot of people, since I was born here. And I carried, like I said, twice a day for a long time there. And we carried, like I said, all the way to the 800 block, come back on Washington, go back on Colorado Street, and Delaware wasn't completely finished then. So, and I would eat lunch, and then I'd go and pick up the mail. The post office was over on the corner of Boston Street. I bet it wasn't half as big as maybe the length of it was, but it was real small. We had mailboxes too, and in fact we had mailbox for post office box 443A, and before we no, that was my grandparents' phone.
Was that the when the post office
Yeah,
was on
it was
West
on the corner
Boston
on
Street?
Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, real.
What did it look like inside inside of the post office?
Not real bad. I mean, it was so small, and then we moved across the street to across the San Marcos.
To Buffalo?
Buffalo. And then we were there, I don't know, that's where I retired from. And then I went to work for the National Guard. Because Raul never knew that I had worked for the bank, and they needed some people to do book work, So they hired me full time, and I spent, altogether I spent 29 and a half years with the Arizona National Guard, and I ended up with 33 years military service, and with the National Guard and the regular Army.
When did you join the National Guard?
When I was working for the post office.
So it was this in the 50s, or when was
It's
it?
had to be in the 50s. No, I was working. Yeah, I was working I was working for the post office then.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember what year it was that you started working at the post office?
49 or something like that.
Okay, so around the time that you got married?
Yeah.
It was around that time?
Well, I still worked, like I said, 3.5 years with the with the post office. I mean, with the bank, and then I took the test for the post office, and I went to work for the post office. I ended up with I don't know how many years I worked for the post office, but I ended up with 29 years with the Arizona National Guard. Oh, shit. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Hello? Hello?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we're almost done. We're almost done, Lefty, so.
Mhm.
Okay, so you and your wife had 4
Yes,
children, correct? And basically you've lived almost almost 50 years or over 50 years here
oh yeah.
on Flint.
I'd say we've been here at least 50 or 53 years, something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay, it's a long time
Yeah.
to be in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking back, after you came back from the war and then you were, got married and you're living in the area, how do you think Chandler was impacted by World War II?
Well, by Williams Air Force Base, that helped a lot too. A lot of people, even there's some people that were at Williams Air Force Base that are living here, and but I can't remember their names. And that they moved back from back east, when they were drafted too, and they went to Williams Air Force Base, and so, like I said, with a post office job, there was 2 Mexicans and 8 Anglos that took the test. The 2 Mexicans and 1 Anglo passed the test. So, but Ron Navarrete says, "You take it," since I got one on it, and that's it.
So a lot of people were getting employment, sounds
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, at the
Mhm.
base.
Right.
And then the base was also drawing
Right.
people into Chandler.
Mhm.
So then Chandler started to grow a little
Right.
bit.
Oh yeah, and there's people that I know that were at Williams Air Force Base that live in Tempe that they just moved here 2 years ago from back east, and they called me to see if on the phone, and they said, because I think in the phone I'm listed as EM Lefty Soto, so and so they contacted me.
Okay. Did you know anyone in Chandler who lost his life during the war?
Mm,
Who died during the war? Anybody from Chandler?
oh, yeah, just by looking at the thing that they had at the veterans, yeah, there's quite a few of them.
Did you know any of them?
No, oh yeah, I knew some of them, yeah, but I can't remember their names.
Yeah.
If I look at them I would.
If you had a photo or something. Okay. Do you feel like your service in World War II affected the rest of your life?
No, I don't think so. I think it made me stronger, because I was kind of afraid to do anything, you know. And after I came back, I was even afraid to start driving. Yeah.
So it sounds like you had more confidence.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, I don't think I deserved that Brown Star, but they told me before I left, "You're gonna get that Brown Star." I didn't get it till 10 years or there's some articles there that I'm gonna show you, and you can look at them and see what, because I was really surprised. There were people there that were more qualified to get it than I was. I don't consider myself a hero.
Okay. What lessons did you learn from your time in World War II?
To be strong, and I guess that's when I felt like when I graduated from high school, I felt like I got to do something, and like I said, I started working for the Chandler, Arizona, the bank, and then I took the test for the post office, and I thought that was, but I thought maybe somebody else could have gotten the job besides me. But
Okay, another question is, what lessons for today's generation would you like to pass on?
I don't know. I have no idea what I would offer, and because like I said, I don't consider myself a hero or above anybody else, so I don't think I would have any advice except just to be yourself, and that's it, Even after when Ron Navarrete got that Brown Star and had it, everybody wanted to look at it, and I took it off and I put it in and said, "You guys can look at it." And I said, "I'm not going to leave it in my uniform." But I do have a uniform there with all my I'll show you if it's, you got time?
Oh, you have your uniform.
You what? That one? Oh, geez.
You don't have it.
How many more questions do you have?
I'm done. So you,
you stand in front of your chair there? Look, that's sweet. Is this what you wore? Go ahead, ask your question.
What's that?
Yeah, so this
Here's-
is, this is the uniform that you wore?
Yes, there's a combat infantry badge. Here's the Bronze Star. And this is the campaigns.
Could you point those buttons out again? Where's your what?
He wants you to point out your buttons again and, or your,
This is a
stripes and talk about them.
this is a infantry badge, combat infantry badge. This is the Bronze Star. These are campaign ribbons. Asiatic Pacific and World War II veteran. And these are also campaign. And then National Guard.
Think you can still wear it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
hmm I wore it for a picture that they had put on in the Historical Society. But that's the artillery, see? National Guard.
You still fit?
Oh yeah.
Sure. Let's see.
I put it on not too long ago too. Somebody wanted a picture of it.
Yeah.
We had it.
Do you think you could put it on and I'll take a picture of you?
What's that?
Could you put the jacket on and I'll,
Yeah?
yeah?
I'll have to take this.
Can you just put that like, can you wear it over
Is
it?
that wrong?
Let me see.
It's cold.
Is it?
I don't know what this one is. Oh. This is another one, but it's a, see, it's
Oh, yeah.
a summer.
You have the winter and the summer uniform?
You just want the,
Yeah, you could just put it like over and then I'll take a picture of you with wearing the coat.
over this shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that alright?
That's all right.